Hey, this is the 120th Daf masechet Shabbat. 121a.
Which part?
Top Mishnah. Nachri shebo lechabot ein omrim lo kabeh ve'al techabeh mipnei she'en shvitato alehen. A guy that comes to put out the fire, we don't tell him put it out. We see him, you're not allowed to tell a guy to do a malacha for you, but you also don't tell him al techabeh. You don't tell him don't put it out. You don't have to stop him from doing it. Mipnei she'en shvitato alehen, because his ceasing to do malacha is not upon you. It's not your responsibility to make sure. He can do whatever he wants. He's a guy. The only thing you have to ensure is that he doesn't do it for you. You don't ask him to do it for you. Aval katan, obviously if there's no danger, right? If there's danger, you can do it yourself. Aval katan shebel chabot, but a Jewish child, which comes to extinguish the fire, ain't shomin lo. We don't allow him to. Because his Shabbat is upon us, upon anybody there, to make sure that he does not transgress the Shabbat. Okay. Now, a person is mechuyev to guard his avadim and his animals, but that's only if he owns them. But a guy is all by himself. Okay.
Can I ask a question? What happens? I know it's saying extinguisher, but let's just say, can you tell somebody? Let's make it simple. There's 100 flies in your Shabbat dinner table, and you have a person who is a cleaning person who's in your house. Yeah, and you say to the person, I'm just saying, it's too many flies. You got to get rid of them. You know. Let's say they didn't do anything. The fact that you told them, let's say hypothetically, to do something which may be obviously killing an animal on Shabbat or something like that, right?
Are you ready to?
No, they didn't do anything. They didn't listen to you. They didn't do anything, but you told them to do something.
So did you already violate the Isser of Amira? It's a very good child. I think it depends on how you learn, because I think there's three ways to understand how the Chacham's takana worked. Either if it worked like shlichut, that you're my agent. So then the whole problem is when he does the malacha, it's considered like somewhat like you did the malacha. And even though normally you can't appoint an agent to do an avera, it's each man for his own. That's halach only for a mitzvah, but for an aver, if I ask you to steal and you steal, it's only your action, not mine. Here, the Chacham were extra strict on Shabbat. So if that would be the reason for Amir La'akum, then it could be there wouldn't be an Isser until he actually does it. Because when he does it, the problem is, the Chacham said, when he does it, it's like you did it. If you didn't do it yet, okay. There's another way of understanding Amir La'akum, and maybe the truth is that even if you learn like that, it could be there's already an Isser now. Chacham already told you, don't tell him. I don't know. It's a very good shayla. I think they speak about this shayla. Very good question. Very good. Okay, so now, okay, so the Gemara says, when there was a fire, they allowed one to say, whoever extinguishes the fire, eno mafsid. Which means, you're allowed to hint that he's going to make money. He's not going to lose out. And if the guy goes ahead and does it, it's his own action. Because I didn't tell him I'm going to pay you, and I also didn't tell him extinguish it. I just said whoever does will not lose out. So therefore, the Nochri is not considered your shliach. And this type of like heter of kind of mentioning money is only mutar in stories of fire. Why? Because a person is bohol al memoinai. And if you don't allow him to do some sort of leniency in Amir La'akum, he's going to come put it out himself. This is the theme that runs throughout the whole parak. So there's a kula here. It says the Gemara, let's bring a support to Rabbi Ami's halacha nochi from our Mishnah. Because our Mishnah says, nochi shabbat lechabot ein omrin lo kabei ve'al techabei m'tei she'en shvitato alehen. Kabei udeli amrin lei. Hokol kabei eino mafsid amrin lei. Because, but kol mechabem eino mafsid, we do tell him. We're now going to say kabei, extinguish, but on a lower level you could. Ema seifa, Gemara says, 1 second. But look at the next part. Al tchaber le'amrin lei. V'kol mechabem eino mafsid nami le'amrin lei. Don't put it out, we don't tell him. So therefore, we can't tell him Kol Chabe Eno Mafsid. Also, we can't even tell him that, because if you were allowed to tell him about that you'd like him to be mikabed lekom, so then they would have said Kol Chabe Eno Mafsid is allowed. Whoever puts it out doesn't lose. That's allowed. The Mishnah should have said such a thing. What did the Mishnah say? The Mishnah said, Ein omrim lo kabei ve'al techabeh. Al techabeh means you don't have to stop him. You don't have to protest. That's all. You don't have to protest against. If the guy's doing it himself, you don't have to say, "Hey, Johnny, stop." Okay. But the Mishnah is not allowing you to go and kind of hint it and say, look, Johnny, I just want to let you know, whoever puts that fire out won't lose. That it didn't let you. So you see, the end of the Mishnah actually indicates the opposite. So the Gemara says, from here, you can't derive anything, because the inference of the first part of the Mishnah contradicts the inference of the second half of the Mishnah. We're talking about when there's a fire in your home. What could you tell a guy? So the Mishnah said you cannot tell him put it out, because he's doing it for you. You don't have to stop him if he is putting it out. And the Gemara, Rabbi Ami says that you could also tell him, you could say whoever puts it out won't lose. Like you'll pay him, but you're not directly telling him, hiring him, that you will pay. You say he won't lose. Okay, and the reason why we gave this leniency is because otherwise people will get so panicked. So you see it's such a genius thinking from the Chacham, everything is. But the perek, this whole perek is like a smack and a glet on the cheek. The whole time, and they both coming from the same reason, if you think about it. They emanate from the same reason. Because a person is in a panic over his things. The Chachamim wanted to make sure that he doesn't put out the fire. So they said to him like this, you can't take more than 3 su'udot. Because if I allow you to do more, you're going to put it out. On the other hand, you could tell a guy, Kol ha-mechabe eino mafsid. You know why? Because you panic over the fire. And if we don't let you have that leniency, you're going to put it out. So they understood the person 1,000%. If we don't give you a stringency, you'll put it out. And we don't give you a leniency, you'll put it out, all for the same reason. It's not shaykh. What's going on over here? The last mission was a chumrah. This is a kula. What's the reason for both? The same reason. You ever such a thing in your life? Think of the psychology, how they understood people, and they understood what people do. Okay, weiter. Ton Rabbanon. Can we switch Gemaras for 1 second? Because there's a Marsha here. I want to see the Marsha. Tanu Rabbanan. The Rabbanan taught in a Braita. There's a story that a fire started in the courtyard of Yosef ben Tzimoi b'Shichin in the city of Shichin. And the people of the government people came from Tzipori, came to put it out. Why? Why do they care about some Jew's courtyard that's on fire? Because he was a caretaker of the king's money. He was a big guy, Yosef ben Tzimoi. But he didn't allow them to put it out. Why? He wanted honor of Shabbat. We're not touching the fire. Thanks for coming, guys. Please leave it alone. Hey, Yosef, are you crazy? Leave it alone, please. Kavod Shabbat. Suddenly, the Nasalo Nes, a miracle happened. Yardu Gishomim V'Kibu. A huge downpour came suddenly out of the blue sky, cloudy, and not only little drizzles. It had to come down, torrential rains. Put it out. That night, he sent all of them to Sla'in, right? And the head guy, Chamishim, 50. He paid all the guys for coming. When the Chachamim heard about it, they said he didn't need to do such a thing. Because the Mishnah teaches, we don't tell him put it out, but we also don't tell him to stop. So he never told them to come. They heard about it from Tzipori. They came running down. They wanted to put it out. He didn't have to tell them al techabeh. So the Chacham said he didn't do it. Wasn't necessary. So, but it seems like he did a very great thing, because the Gemara is telling us that there was a nace, okay, and then he paid them really nicely afterwards. A nace happened for him. So Chachamim said afterwards that he didn't have to do it, but why did he do it? And what was so great about what he did? So let's see if the Marsha shed some light on that. Perhaps, as the Marsha, he also knew the Mishnah. He did it just for Kavod Shabbat, meaning so that people shouldn't suspect him that he told them. These are his guys. He's the government man. So they come from the government. So they're all going to suspect him that he probably told them to put it out. So for the honor of Shabbat, that Shabbat shouldn't look like it was transgressed, even though he didn't. They came from on their own volition. He decided not to put it out. So people shouldn't suspect that he didn't honor the Shabbat. So that's Kavod Shabbat, says the Masha. That is a nace for that. A miracle. Beautiful story. So what do you learn from this Gemara? You learn from this Gemara that on Shabbat, let's say you're walking on Shabbat, and your children, and you decide that it's not. When I grew up, it was called Shabbosdik. In Yiddish, you say Shabbosdik. It's not Shabbosdik to do this. It's not Shabbosdik to do that. But you ask the rabbi, and the rabbi says there's no Isra, there's no D'Rabbana, there's not even a minhag to do such a thing. But you don't feel it's Shabbosdik, so you're right. It's not. If that's what you feel, then you're right. Because that's the way you feel to the Shabbos. You feel Shabbos, it's like saying when the Queen comes to you, there's certain rules that someone told me when they met the President of the United States, they don't you meet him. They tell you 10 rules. When you shake his hand, don't shake it for too long. Only shake it if he gives. Stand like this. Don't talk before you do. A whole bunch of rules. These are rules. You have to keep them. Then, let's say you're speaking and you decide, it's not proper for me to do that. They never told me, but obviously. So of course you're right. Whatever you come up with, of course you're honoring the king even more. So Kal V'chomer, to have those types of feelings for Shabbat, Malka, you have to have your own relationship with the Malka. If a person feels estranged from Shabbat, just whatever, I got to do it. I'm religious. Whatever it says in the book, Rabbi, whatever you say, all right. That means he doesn't really sense her presence. A person must sense the presence of the queen. If you sense the presence, you'll come up with many of your own, not like, I'm not trying to make isurim here, like prohibitions and more stringencies. Just your own way of honoring her. And that's all beautiful. And that's what happened to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai on Daf Lamed Gimel, Shabbat. When did he stop killing people when he saw them? And he came out of the cave, you remember? Everybody was dying. When the person had the myrtle bread, not the aravot, they were hadassim. He had the myrtle bread, the hadassim. So he said, what's these hadassim? He was running. He said, one is for zachor, one is for shamor. I once heard Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman ask, where do you find such a minhag? A halacha? The Rabbanan, the Oraita, minhag, what? So he got so happy. Oh, Shemaichai said, oh, there's good people left. Oh, okay, good. Well, what was the guy doing? What was he doing a mitzvah? He said that hagufa, that's itself. If he was doing a mitzvah, fine. But he saw people still have their own love for Hashem. Their own Yerushalayim. They're thinking of their own things. They have so much on, they want to honor Shabbat so much that they go ahead and buy one for Zachor, one for Shamor. Who told you that? That's my feeling towards Shabbos. I love Shabbos. I love her. I bought Shabbos flowers. I bought Shabbat flowers. Okay. Weiter sagt die Gemara. Aber kotot shebal chabot ein shomim lo shivitato alehen. But a koton, you're responsible to make sure that he doesn't do melacha. So the Gemara asks, Shametz minei koton oichel neveis beis mitzvah of la'afrishay. So you see from here that a child that's eating non-kosher, not slaughtered meat, right? Meat that cows that, let's say, die by themselves. Beit Din is obligated to remove him. So the Gemara is asking, that's a problem. Why? Because there's a story in Yevamot. The story in Yevamot is, Rashi says, "V'tikshu Rabbi Yochanan da'omer Yevamot Rabba Bar Bachana, ichasu de'maftecha shel Beis HaMedrash b'shusarab b'Shabbat." What happened was he lost his keys in the Beit HaMidrash. In the Reshut HaRabim. He lost the keys of the Beit HaMidrash. In the Reshut HaRabim. So he asked an Amora what to do, another one of his great rabbis, and they told him, bring little children to that area where you lost them and let them play there. Bring a whole bunch of kids, let them play in the yard over there. And when they find them, they'll bring them. That means that you're basically causing that little children, you're like, I want you 10 kids, come here. Stop playing over there. I want you to play over here in this area. Okay, why? Because we want you to. And then eventually one of them will say, hey, look what I found. And I think let's go bring it to the shul for the rabbis. See what that will happen. So you're causing them to go ahead and carry in the Reshut HaRabim. So that's a kasha on Rabbi Yochanan that allowed that. Over here we see in the Mishnah that if a child is trying to extinguish a fire, you have to say stop, because you have to make sure he doesn't transgress, violate Shabbat. Rabbi Yochanan b'koton oisel das oviv. The answer is that this child knows that his father wants him to put it out. Since he knows his father wants him to put it out, so, and many learn that it doesn't, not necessarily because he knows it's father, it could be for anybody. He knows that it's for the person, so therefore he's considered like he's doing it for him. Okay? But if a child does a malacha just from himself, you don't have to stop him. Just like in that story with the keys. But the kavatal gabi nochi the kavil daita Yisrael mishoris. The Gemara is saying like this. You're telling him, you're differentiating, and you're saying, if the kid knows it's for you, then it's like he's doing it for you. Then you have to stop him. If the kid's doing it for himself, there you don't have to stop. So if a kid is eating nivelot, he's eating non-kosher meat, you don't have to stop him. But it's for himself. If a kid's doing it because he knows you want, then he's doing it for you, Shabbat, there you have to stop him. Says the Gemara, so then why don't you have to stop the guy? Why did we say that you don't have to, you're not allowed to tell the guy to extinguish it, but if the guy's doing it, you don't have to tell him, al techabeh. You don't have to tell him that. Why not? You should have to tell him. He's doing it for you. Just like by the child that you have to ain't showing low, so the guy is also doing it, he knows it's for you, and he's doing you a favor by putting out the fire. So the Gemara says, Nochi l'daita denafshi of it. A guy is doing it for his himself. Why? Even though he knows it's for you and you want it, he's not doing it for your good. He's doing it for his good. So he'll be rewarded afterwards. You'll give him the 2 sloim from Yosef and Simai, or the 50 if he's the head guy, or you'll give him a bottle of vodka or something, and you'll say, you're a real champion yesterday.
So there's no such thing as an altruistic guy. Pretty much is what you're saying.
No, there is on smaller things. The truth is, there is such a thing in Hilchis Amir La'akim. Of course, there is.
What's a firefighter?
No, let's say the guy turns it on. A firefighter? Oh, like a guy drives up, he's a firefighter, he's a volunteer. They don't get paid, nobody pays them, right? So maybe that's different. Sure, there are cases.
He's talking about the regular guy.
He's talking about the regular guy in such a circumstance. That doesn't mean that there are other circumstances. Let's say you have a cleaning lady, and she's not going to get rewarded more. She sees that the lights are off in the dining room, and they're only getting right. So she goes and turns them on for the family. You're going to give her more of her paycheck. She's flipped the light on. So there, she's doing it for the Jew. We're going to learn about that. So it's asur. That's going to be asur. You're not going to be nene from that. But here, it's a dait denafshe ka'ovid. The truth is, it's a good question what you're asking. Let's say it's your next door neighbor, right? He's doing it to be a good Sam, a good Samaritan, right? A good neighbor. Obviously, you're going to give him a pat on the back, yeah, but he's doing all the toivas atzmai.
Is the word here, I think that, here in the article they put the word always. Is that in the nachri, the dat, and the nafshe, is that always in there? Is there a word always in there? Always is a big statement.
It's not in there, but that's how they're interpreting it.
Yeah. Because if always is the right word, then that's a pretty big statement.
Right. 1 second. It's a very good trailer. 1 second. Right here. By the way, a child is doing malacha on Shabbos if a father has to stop him midoraita, not midirabanan. You know that. If you see a child doing, I'm not going to get into all these questions big with like what age does that start? If he's 2 years old, 3 years old. But a child for sure that's, let's say, in chinuch age, even though he doesn't have a chiyuv d'oraita, you have an 8-year-old, 7, 6-year-old child, probably even 5, and he knows the concept of Shabbat, and he's doing a melacha, a father has to remove him, not because of this Gemara only, because he's doing it for you, so there's the Isru de Rabbanan, that someone that's not mechuyev is not allowed to do something for you on Shabbat. Besides that Isru de Rabbanan, that would be if he's doing it for somebody else. But if he's doing a melacha for his father, the father sees it. The Torah says clearly that the father has to make sure the son doesn't do a malacha. Midoraita. You say it in Kiddush. Ata uvincha. It's not talking about an older son, because an older son has his own chiyuv. He's ata. He's you. So it's uvincha means you have to make sure your children are not mechal Shabbat. Okay, fine. Let's continue. Kofin kiara. It's good. I hear. Kofin kiara al gabe haneh b'shul shelo te'achos bakora. You're allowed to turn over a plate on top of a candle, so that if you're worried that the korah, the beams of the house, will catch fire. So you're allowed to do that. And the Gemara, if you remember, we had this, the Gemara a long time ago brought this, and the Gemara asked on Rabbi Yitzchak that says that we had it over there in your backyard. I don't know if you remember that you're not allowed to be metaltal kli b'Shabbos el tzorach davar hamuter. Rabbi Yitzchak said it's a special chumrah, right? You're only allowed to move things for other things that are not mukta. I can only move an item for an item that's not mukta, but the korah over here is mukta. So the Gemara asked on Rabbi Yitzchak, how does that work? The Gemara said that you already were holding the plate. Remember? You're holding the plate in your hand and ready to use it for something. So now you can already use it for that. That's one teretz. Okay. Anyways, you're allowed to place a plate over a nair so that it doesn't burn in the home. Now you have to make sure that there's a little space, there's a little oxygen left over for the candle not to be extinguished. And Rashi says we're talking about klicheres here, because if it's not klicheres and it's metal, then you could be over on havara, because the metal's going to get so hot that it's going to burn through the metal, strengthen it, fine. So we're talking about klicheres here. V'al shel katan, and on the feces of a child, ve'al akrav shelo tishach, and on a scorpion shelo tishach, so that it shouldn't bite you. Now, why are you allowed to do that? Aren't you trapping? So the answer is that it's a malacha she'ena tzricha legufa. It's only an isur derabanan. Why is it only when there's an isur derabanan and there's a worry that you might get hurt? The Chachamim relaxed the isur altogether. What's the isur derabanan? Why is it only derabanan? Because it's a malacha she'ena tzricha legufa. You're not covering, not placing a plate over the scorpion to be able to have scorpion, to get something out of the scorpion. So the malacha of trapping has to be that you benefit from the thing that you trap. Here you don't want it. You're not taking its fur or its skin or anything that it doesn't have, right? So what are you doing it for? So that you shouldn't get bitten. So that's a malacha that's not being done for itself. It's for some ancillary cause and reason, and therefore there's no isur midoraita. At least we pass on like that. Maybe not like Rabbi Yehud. Okay, we'll see in a second a different man, the Amar. That's what this shita holds. Since it's only nisur d'Rabbanan, and we're worried about you getting harmed, so the Chachamim, not killed, by the way. No, I'm saying we're not worried about you getting killed. Then pshita, right? So then, meaning it's not mamish a danger, but the Chachamim relaxed their issue. Okay.
A mosquito and a scorpion are two different things, no?
What?
Trapping a mosquito on Shabbat and a scorpion are two different things, no?
The truth is that a mosquito is also malacha she'en tzricha legufa. We don't want the mosquito. You just don't want it to bite you. So it's the Rabbanan. So are you allowed to do that? Because of this Gemara. That's a great question. Are you allowed to trap mosquitoes not to get bitten? Okay, let's see. So the Gemara says like this. Rabbi Yochanan Omer Rabbi Yehuda Maaseh B'Alofnei Rabbi Yochanan Zakai Ba'arov VeOmer Cheshav Lo Mechatos. There's a story that came before Rabbi Yochanan Zakai in the city of Arov. Someone asked him, "Could we put the plate on top of the scorpion?" And Rabbi Yochanan Zakai said, "I'm worried that he has to bring a chatat." Why? Because Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai held the malacha she'ein tzricha legufa is asur min haTorah. Okay, and he was worried. So why didn't he say that it's for sure a chatat? The guy did it for sure because he wasn't sure if the person he didn't think that there was such a great danger. He was saying, I don't think there was a great danger to his life. And if there wasn't a great danger to his life, then he had to bring a chatat because it's a malacha she'ein tzricha legufa yechayav according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. By the way, I looked up this Yerushalmi that has this story here in Yerushalmi in Shabbat, Mishnah Chet, in the same Perek Shisha Asar. I showed it to my kids last night. This story is that he lived in Arav. He really lived in a place called, I think, Bir Choyel. But for 18 years he lived in this place, Arav. You know how many questions he had? They asked him in that place? 2. This is one of them. 2 questions in 18 years. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, God Lador. So he said to the place, Galil, Saneita Torah. It was in Galil. You hate the Torah. 2 questions in 18 years. I don't know what he was doing there for 18 years. Why did it take him so long to figure that out? Obviously, he must have had a yeshiva there, and he was like ignoring but after, I don't know why that was the camel. I don't understand the story. Meaning, nobody really explains too much over there. It's just the Pnei Moshe and the Karban. And he ended off with like a curse. He says, you're only for the Moiskin. Which means that it was a farming lands there. They had a lot of olives. So he said, all you'll have from you won't be Talmidei Chacham. Well, just farmers will come from you. Others say, the Karban says, Moiskin means you'll be busy with thieves the whole day. Robbers will always, maybe because you robbed Klal Yisrael from not learning Torah. I don't know exactly what, but that is the story, mamish here, in this Mishnah. This Mishnah doesn't tell you the whole thing. Wow. Okay. Says the Gemara, Rav Yehuda v'Rav Yirmiyah ba'Abba v'Rav Chanan bar Rava iklu lebei ovin de min ashkiya. So Rav Yehuda and Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba and Rav Chanan bar Rava, they visited the house of Ovin from Nashikia. What was the place where the atom bomb, where'd the atom bomb go off? Nagasaki. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the other one. Nastikia. Okay. Rav Yehuda v'Rav Yirmiyah ba'Abba. Close. Aisule Puraita. So what happened was they brought them Puraita. What's Puraita? They brought them beds to sit on. Rav Chanan bar Rava lo Aisule. They didn't bring him. Ashkechei masti ledivrei. They put him on the floor. So he wasn't mechabed, right? Rabbi Ovid was not machshiv Rav Chanan bar Rava like the other 2. And he felt that he needed musar for this. Then he found that he was teaching his son, the host, Rabbi Ovid, was teaching his son our Mishnah, and he was saying like this: and you're not allowed to cover the tzoa of a child, so that the child should not end up playing with it and get dirty. Omar Leis Rav Chanan bar Rava, Torah bi Ovin Shatya Matni Shtuta Livnei. Ovin the fool is teaching foolish teachings to his son, meaning how could you think that the Mishnah is talking about the tzoa of a child? The tzoa of a child is not muktzah, because the dogs eat it, and therefore you don't have to cover it over. You can move it with your hands. So how could you think that? How did you read the Mishnah tzoya shel katan? That's foolish. And if you're going to tell me it's muktzah, why? Because when on the onset of Shabbat, it wasn't here yet. Right? The child had an accident when, in the middle of Shabbat. So it wasn't yet in existence, and it's going to be asur because of nolad. The Otanyom. But we learned in a Braita, Neharot HaMoshchim Ma'ayanot HaNovin, rivers that flow and springs that come out, since they're always moving and they're always right. They're allowed to travel. Normally, you're not allowed to move things, right? Further than 2,000 amot. Okay? But since the waters, whatever an item is at the onset of Shabbat, it only has 2,000 amot. Even things of Hefker, okay, only have 2,000 amot. That means even if you're allowed to carry things because it's Yom Tov, you're not allowed to take them more than 2,000 amot. But if something is moving at the onset of Shabbat, so then they don't have a tchum, they don't have a place. Okay? They're not koine shvita. Koine shvita, we're going to learn all about it in Erevin Bezrat Hashem, but we had it here before also. You acquire a resting spot. This is your spot where you are at the onset of Shabbat. So from there on is your tchum, is your boundaries, is your border. You have 2,000 amot. But if you're moving and you never stop, so you don't have a place. I saw yesterday in a sefer, I'll tell you at the end of the sefer, that if you want to be rich, you can't have Torah. If you want to have Torah, the story is in the Gemara. The story is, then he went to learn Torah, he became poor. Normally, the sefer says, can't be both. Because why? Because the Gemara says that where do you draw wealth from? From the north. Because what was on the north side of the Heichel? The Shulchan, which gives Parnasah. Where do you want Torah from? Where do you get Torah? Yadrin, for the menorah. Yadrin. So normally a person, where are you? Are you in the north? He said, you can't be on both. He said, but Moshe Rabbeinu, the Gemara says he was extremely wealthy. Rebbe HaKadosh, extremely wealthy. And that doesn't mean that you can't learn Torah and become a little bit of Talmid Chacham, but to have them both like tremendously wealthy and very great Talmid Chacham, you hardly have. It's called Torah Gedul Mokem Echad. You can't find it. You know why? Because b'Mokem Echad they're not. They're not b'Mokem Echad. One is here, one's there. Where are you? Are you Tzaf and you Doran? You have to be more to one side. And then the Sefer says, you know why they were able to? Because they were the epitome. It says that about Rebbe also, of humility in their generation. Moshe Rabbeinu all time. So therefore, when you're so humble, you don't take up space. There is no space. Where are you? Like this Gemara. The rivers don't have a space. We're not kind of any. This is our spot. They're always moving. They don't have a spot. They're nowhere. If you're nowhere, then you can take from everywhere. Because you're not a Tzafim man, you're not a Dar man. Reb Nachman in Breslov. It's right up his alley, right? So he says that's why they're able to have Torah Gedul Mokem Echad, because they don't. So this is what the Mishnah says, the Gemara says over here. So therefore, every person is allowed to go in these waters and take these waters to wherever their 2,000 amas end. Okay? Fine. So what do we see over here? So we see from this Braisa, they're not muktzah. Even though these waters were not here when Yom Tov started, and the Torah says why they're not muktzah, because you knew that they're coming. So therefore also here, it's normal for a katan to defecate on Shabbat. And therefore, a person already has it in mind, like these waters, that when they come, he'll be able to feed it to the dogs, and therefore, there's no muktzah. So the Gemara says, Reb Oven said, okay, I hear what you're saying. You're right. I've learned it wrong. But say, how should I teach the Mishnah? So he said, you're allowed to take a plate and cover the tzoa of Tarnagoylim for mipnei katan. It's not talking about the tzoa of a katan. But the tzoa of the Tarnagoylim, the dogs do not eat. So it's 100% muktzah. And the reason why you're allowed to cover it is so that he doesn't get dirty. Okay? Fine. Says the Gemara, typically they have a graf sharei. Even if we're talking about tzoa of the Tarna Golden, it's still going to be mutter to move it because it's a graf sharei. A graf sharei is like a chamber pot, which is made for a person relieving himself. So the Chacham said that you're allowed to empty it out, even though it's muktzah, because it is so repulsive. So therefore the Gemara is saying that it has the same halacha. The tzoya of the Tarna Goyim should have the same halacha, it should be mutter to move. Maybe the heter that the Chachamim allowed people to move a graf sharei is only when you're moving the tzoa al yedei, the pot, the chamber pot. But in itself, to take the actual repulsive item in your hand, that's going to be asur. Why? And why would there be a difference? The point is they're allowing it because they want you to get rid of it, because it's so repulsive. So why wouldn't they allow? And the Rishonim say the reason is because if you take it with a keli, you can make it like subordinate, secondary to the keli, and the keli is not muktzah, and that's just in the keli. So I'm really moving the keli. Okay, so and even though the keli is serving it, and if you become a basis, but here the Chachamim were makel, they were lenient with basis, halachas of basis, because it was so repulsive. But to actually take the muktzah, maybe they never gave such a heter. It says the Gemara says there was a mouse that was found in the perfumes of Rav Ashi. The Amarlu and Rav Ashi told the people there, grab it by its tail and take it out. So you see that something that's mamish muktzah, the actual item, if it's repulsive, you're allowed to remove it with your hand, mamish, like a graf sharei. So why would the Mishnah say that you're allowed to cover it with a keli? That you're allowed to cover it with a keli, and you're not allowed to move it mamish. So the Gemara says ba'ashpa. The Mishnah is talking about the tsoya, which is in the garbage. Therefore, there's no heter of graf sharei, and you just don't want your kid to get dirty with it, so you're allowed to cover it over. But it's not the kotem ba'ashpa my boile. So why are you nervous that the kid's going to go into the garbage? Kids don't usually, right? Where's the garbage? In Rishut Rabin. Kids don't go there by themselves normally. So why would you have to cover it over for the child? So the Gemara answers b'chatzer. We're talking about the tzoa in the chatzer. Chatzer nami graf sharehu. So then the Gemara says if it's the chatzer, it's the courtyard. So forget about the kids playing with it. People that are sitting there on Shabbat afternoon, they don't want the tzoa to be there. So it's again a graf sharei. So the Gemara says the ashba shebechatzer. There's like at the edge of the chatzer, there's like an area where they have the garbage there. People don't sit around there, so it won't bother the people. And the only concern is that the kid is going to play with it. Therefore, it's not a graf sharei, and therefore it's muktzah, and it's asur to move it with your hands. However, therefore the Mishnah says that you're allowed to cover it with a plate so that the child doesn't get dirty. Now the Gemara goes to the next part of the Mishnah. You're allowed to cover a scorpion, alak of shaloi tishoich, and we said before, because the Tanakama holds it's a malacha she'en tzricha legufam, because you're not gaining anything from the akrav. And the only issur is the issur de rabbanan. But because of the worry that it might harm you, they relaxed it and they said there's no issur. Omer Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, so it's not trapping. Kol hamazikin neherogin b'Shabbat. All harmful animals or anything that can harm a person and it can kill, you're allowed to kill on Shabbat. Okay? Now, when you kill an animal on Shabbat, what are you being over? You're being over on the issur of shchita. But shchita has to be tzricha legufa. How's it tzricha legufa? You're doing it for the animal itself, to make the animal a better thing. Because right now, it's ever menachai. I can't eat it. So I want to make you a better piece of food, so I give shchita. Now it becomes it's better. But let's say you kill the animal for a different reason, so that it shouldn't harm you, so that's not a malacha shetzricha legufa. You're doing it for some other reason. So it's an asur only. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it's asur midoraita. According to Rabbi Shimon, you're not chayav min Torah. So here, Rabbi Yeshua Levi is learning like Rabbi Shimon, that the isur to kill an animal on Shabbat, because you don't want it to harm you, is not isur deoraita. Okay? And therefore, the Chachamim were makel, they were lenient in their isur, so that they can remove harmful animals from the world. It's a good thing to get rid of things that could kill people. Even if right now you're not in danger, but because it's a good thing to get rid of such things, so, and the worst that would have been an isur d'Rabbanan, because we're going like Reb Shimon, that a melacha she'enet tzricha l'gufa is only asur d'Rabbanan, which means there's no real violation of a real melacha d'oraita of Shabbat here, according to Reb Shimon Levi. It's only d'Rabbanan. D'Rabbanan then said, go kill them on Shabbat. Okay? Mativ Rav Yosef, chamisha neharegim b'Shabbat, ve'elohen. Rav Yosef asked from the following Braita. There are 5 types of live animals that you can kill on Shabbat. Creatures. Even if they're not chasing a person, and there's no danger to anyone's life. Zvuv shebe'eretz Mitzrayim, the fly of Egypt. V'tzira shebe'ninvei. Remember there was a thing called West Nile virus? Mm-hmm. Is that from the Nile? From the Egyptian Nile? I don't know. Zvuv shebe'eretz Mitzrayim. V'tzira shebe'ninvei, and the wasp of Ninveh. Okay? There's even a pasuk about this wasp. Okay? And the akav shebechaydyov, and the scorpion of Chadyov. Okay? It's in the north of Iraq, they're saying. The nocha shebe'eretz Yisrael, the kelev sheitim chol makom, and a crazy dog at all places, the dog with rabies. So you're allowed to kill them, even if you're not chasing anybody, because these are basically, you can assume these are the types of things that go ahead and kill people. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean only these 5. It means these 5 are like an example. But if in your days, in your region, there's another animal that we know kill people, so you see one right there in that tree, it's not near a person, nobody's in danger, you can go ahead and kill it on Shabbat.
So what was the whole idea then about not being able to cover the scorpion, and you should be able, if you're allowed to kill it?
Oh, very good.
The whole argument.
Very good. Oh, Ivaldi, very good question. So the Gemara says this: Mani ilem Rabbi Yehuda hama b'lacha she'enet tzricha l'guf chayiv. If it's Rabbi Yehuda, he said you're not allowed to do it. It's a melacha. So there's no way that they would allow you to kill these things. It would have to be sakanat nefashot. Okay? So therefore it cannot go like Rabbi Yehuda. Elolav Rabbi Shimon. V'hani hu d'shariach liloi. But the Braita is telling you these 5 things. In those days, these were the only 5 things. So why is Rabbi Shua ben Levi saying, no, it's not these 5 things. Anything that's mazik, there's no list. Maybe the Braita is a messed up Braita. Or sometimes the Braita didn't come out right. If Rabbi Shua ben Levi told us you could kill any animal, that's a mazik. So maybe this Braita is not a good Braita. I myself taught it amongst all the Braitot, and I can testify about its authenticity, and it's real. And I asked this question for Rabbi Shua ben Levi, and I'll also answer the question. We're talking about a case where they're running after you. So it's mamish pikuach nefashot. Therefore you can kill anything. Okay? That's what Rabbi Shua ben Levi is speaking about when he says you can kill all the mazikin. Now the Braita that says only these 5, even if they're not running after you, it's only these 5, that Braita is going like Rabbi Shimon, that it's only asur d'Rabbanan because it's a malacha she'enet tzricha l'gufa, and therefore since They're harmful. The Chachamim allowed the 5 known animals to be killed. Okay? Fine. Now, what about our Mishnah? In our Mishnah, excellent question, David, comes along the Rishonim and they explain as follows. If it's not running after you, you shouldn't be able to kill it. Because it's not...
It's not endangering you.
Well, the akrav over here is even a regular scorpion which is not dangerous. There are some scorpions that are dangerous, some scorpions that are not dangerous. The Mishnah doesn't mention which scorpion. That means it's mentioning even the scorpion. It's including even the scorpions that are not dangerous.
Mosquitoes will
Oh, what?
Mosquitoes will fall in that too?
Mosquitoes will fall into that. And the Mishnah is allowing you to what? To trap it. Now, didn't we just say that you're not allowed to do such a thing? So the teretz is that it seems like that isur of killing mazikim was worse for the chachamim than trapping them. Why? Because it's a much more of a larger show. It's much. Everybody becomes aware that a malacha was just done when you kill than when you trap, and therefore they were more machmir when it came to killing mazdikin than to trapping them. For trapping, as long as you could get hurt, even if it's not poisonous, since it's only an isur d'Rabbanan, because it's a malacha she'en tzricha legufa, they allowed you to trap it already. So what would be with a mosquito? It sounds like from over here, maybe you could trap a mosquito that's bothering you. We're going to look it up in the Mishnah Berurah. So, Tani Tana Kamei de Rava bar Rav Huna. There was a Tana that taught the following braita before Rabbi bar Rav Huna. Haoreg nechashim ve'akrabim b'Shabbat ein ruach chasidim nocha himenu. If someone kills snakes or scorpions on Shabbat when they're not chasing you, the spirit of Hasidim, of the pious Chachamim, they're not happy with you. It's a new lashon. Never heard this language, right? Ein ruach Hasidim noicha heimenu. It's not befitting to do what you did. Amalei ve'otan Hasidim ein ruach Chacham noicha mehem. And those Hasidim, he didn't like this psak. Okay, Rabbi bar Huna said. And those pious people that don't like it, you should know that the Chachamim don't like their piety. The Chachamim don't like the Chasidim. This is like, you can make those Chasidim, the Chacham are not happy with them. Why? Why not? Because it's way too stringent. What's the problem? He did a good thing. If they're not going to harm anybody right now, when they get angry one day, the snake will bite somebody. So therefore, it's a good thing. Get rid of them right now. Okay? So according to Rabbi Rav Huna, lechatchila, initially you're allowed to go over and see a snake that's, not near people, not chasing anybody, and go over to it and kill it on Shabbat. Okay? Because he's learning that it's not those 5 specifically. And he's learning that the other braita that said those 5 specifically, which only mentioned Nocha Shaveret Yisrael, but no Akrav, didn't mention any Akravim, is a messed up braita. This is what he holds. And therefore, he holds anything. You can do anything. Upliga de Rav Huna, this argues with Rav Huna. Rav Huna Chazel, who gave the Kakotel Zipur. Rav Huna saw a person that was killing a bee on Shabbat. Omalei shlamtinu lekulu. Shlamtinu lekulu. You finished? You finished killing all the bees in the world when you killed that bee? Are they all gone? No. So what'd you gain? There's plenty of bees left. So what did you gain? Why did you kill on Shabbat? It's a malacha, even if it's a malacha she'en tzricha, it's also d'Rabbanan only, because you're not gaining anything out of the bee. But it's still d'Rabbanan, it's asur. So what do you gain? Yeah, but the Chachamim relaxed the Isur because it's a major benefit to society that it shouldn't come to No, no, you didn't. Because there's still plenty of bees left. So you see that Rav Huna didn't like this heter of killing animals on Shabbat that potentially might be dangerous. Tanura banan. Nizdanu lo nechoshev akab maharagam biyadua shenizdanu lo lehorgam. If suddenly snakes and akrabim came, if you kill them, you should know shenizdanu lo lehorgam. That it was a great zchut. If you happen to be the person that kills a dangerous animal, like a scorpion or a snake, you should know that they were placed in front of you so that you should kill them. It was a great zchut that you had. And because HaKadosh Baruch Hu only brings zchuyot to people who are meritorious. So he brings merits to them. So if you had the merit to kill an animal, suddenly you're walking and you happen to be holding a machete. It happens to be that there's a snake that walks right there. And you go, pew. So you should know it's a zchut. Shemayim is like sent it to you because they like you, so they gave you the zchut to kill it. Lo haragan, but if you don't kill them and they didn't bother you, biyadushin is down to the harguv and asul le'neis v'nashumayim. You should know that they were sent to kill you, and you had a miracle from Shemayim. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu shown you that you have sinned.
By not killing it?
No. Let's say you see like a snake coming. You go, oh, yeah, and you get nervous. You go, wait, you don't kill it. You should know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent it to you because He's telling you deserve to die. But I gave you a miracle. You sinned. Do teshuvah. Do teshuvah. You sinned. I saved you at the end, but I did a miracle for you. Amar Ulu v'teimer Rabbi Bar Bachana Amar Rabbi Yochanan. When it says over here, that's only when the snake hisses at him. Otherwise, it's not 100% proof, okay, that they really were sent to get you.
So if he killed it, that means it's not a sign that he sinned?
Right. If it's there and you just kill it, so it wasn't sent for you to kill it. It wasn't sent to you to kill you. It was sent to you. You should be the messenger, the agent to go ahead and get rid of it for the world, so that's a good thing. That's how the Gemara starts off. One time, suddenly a snake fell from the roof in the Beit HaMidrash. A man from Nayot, the city, and he killed it. Omar Rebbe, and Rebbe said, Poga boy keyotzeboy. The person that killed it was like the snake. What did Rebbe mean? They asked, what does it mean? Poga boy keyotzeboy, the shaper of it? Does he mean he did a good thing? Which means the snake was trying to pursue people. So Rebbe was saying, this guy acted like a snake towards a snake. Very good going. He's trying to kill others. You went and acted like a snake and you killed him. Oh, Allah. Or he's making fun of, he's saying something that was like disgrace. He's saying, you're like the snake. So Toshima, okay, we'll stop here. See you tomorrow. Let's do the test. Shikayach. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Baruch Hashem.